Hello my friends, as I mentioned to you over my Instagram, I have been knee deep in decluttering, purging, basically trying to get my life in order. You know how it goes at the beginning of every year. And as I've been doing that, I came across some Hermes pieces that I no longer reach for. Some because I don't think that they're really my aesthetic at this point. Others that I find incredibly uncomfortable. Some that I just really don't think the quality is where it should be. So today, these are the Hermes pieces that we're going to be discussing. Popular Hermes pieces that I shouldn't have bought and you shouldn't either. And inspired by these pieces, I also wanted to chat about some newer Hermes launches that I never bought and I don't think I ever will, and I really don't think that you should either. So without further ado, if you'd like to discuss the popular Hermes pieces that we shouldn't buy in 2023, you know the drill. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. Let's jump straight in. And why don't we start with some pieces that I have been buying for, 5+ years. I couldn't tell you how many of these I bought over the years, not only for myself in different sizes, but also as a gift. So while I don't think I'll buy any more of these for myself, it would be a lie for me to say that I won't buy any more of these full stop, because these are things that I love buying as gifts. I think they make the most amazing thoughtful gift. If you have someone in your life who loves Hermes and you would love to treat them to something that you don't think that they would buy for themselves, this is an amazing piece to buy, which I love that this is how we're starting a video that should be about Hermes pieces you shouldn't buy. But I just want to be honest, I don't think I'll buy any more of these for myself. But as a gift, I still think they make an amazing gift, but unfortunately I just don't think the quality is where it should be. And we're going to be talking about Hermes towels, and to be specific, the Hermes Avalon towels, which, looking at myself in the viewfinder, this does look a lot better on camera than it does in person. But anyway, I wanted to tell you about these towels, which are actually from the Hermes baby line. Hermes does have a huge range of different towels in their beach collection, and I do think that they have some bath towels too, but these are the ones that I always bought, which are from their baby collection. And just like their iconic pillows and blankets, these feature the exact same Avalon print. These do come in two different colorways, in blue and in pink. I always have some of these on hand because I think they are just some of the cutest little gifts to give, and I have bought them both in blue and pink. Whichever they have in stock is usually the one that I pick up. So I don't have anything against either one of the colors, but one thing that I do have to say about these is that they're quite expensive. I think over the years they have gone up, I think at least 70% in price. Slowly but surely, each time there was a price increase, these snuck up just $5 to $10. So they are quite expensive at this point, but they do them not only in different colors, but also in different sizes. So the ones that I pulled out are going to be the hand towels, but I also have the face towels. I also have the bath towels in my bathroom currently, which I can't even bring out here. They look so kind of disgusting just because these towels don't wear well, they don't wash well, and I have to be honest, these are things that I wash at least once, if not twice a week, as you should when you use towels, but they don't wash well, they don't wear well. I have towels genuinely from Primark that wash better than these. So as beautiful as these are, unfortunately I just don't think the quality is there. Maybe you just want to use them in your bathroom as a little decorative element. Maybe if you have a guest bathroom and you don't have guests come over that often, but whenever they do, you just have it sitting out there and you wash it, every once in a while, because it's not something that really gets used. It might be something that you want to invest in, but personally, if you're going to use these on a daily basis, as I have been doing so for the past few years, and by the way, these are not the ones that I've had for 5 years. These I think I bought maybe last year. I think these might be a year old, and as you can see, they're already in this condition. I just really don't think that these are worth the money. Yes, they make a beautiful decorative element, especially if these colors, so pink or blue, go with the aesthetic of your home, but otherwise, these are really not things that were made to be used and washed on a regular basis. Alongside with these, now that we're talking about our hand washing rituals, another thing that I don't think is worth buying from Hermes is their hand soap, which is something that I have been through. I couldn't even tell you countless bottles of them over the years, but it's just not something that in my opinion is worth the money. And don't get me wrong, I do love designer hand soaps. We all wash our hands. We wash our hands multiple times a day, or at least we should. So why not make the experience feel and look as luxurious as possible. So I do love a beautiful bottle of designer hand soap, but when it comes to Hermes hand soaps, they are just not worth it. The packaging looks and feels cheap. They are made of these really flimsy plastic, and they come in these really basic primary colors. The soaps are not really luxurious feeling. The scents themselves, I'm not a big fan of. So I have pretty much tried all the different flavors or scents, but I'm really not a fan of any one of them, and I really don't think it's worth the money. There are so many incredible designer hand soaps out there that are either cheaper or a similar price point, but add a lot more to your interior. So Hermes hand soaps and Hermes hand towels are really not what I would spend my money on. And in case you're wondering which hand soaps I would recommend, I do love a little bit of A soap, but it's not something that I would buy for myself either, because the bottle is made of plastic and I cannot stand that they are not refillable. So I do have some Aesop hand soaps that I have to go through just because I have been gifted some of those, but it's not something that I would buy at this point. I would say that my favorite designer hand soap is probably the Diptyque hand soap, because it comes in a beautiful substantial glass jar. If you've been with me for a while, you're probably not going to be surprised to hear me talk about this piece, but I did want to bring this up again just because Hermes has recently launched these in new iterations, also new colors, and you might have not seen some of my older videos. So the next piece that we're going to be talking about, which I cannot believe I ever spent my money on, is going to be Hermes's infamous, and I would dare to guess, one of their most popular jewelry pieces, the Click Age bracelet, or also known as the Click Leg bracelet, which I have no doubt that you've seen before. And I just have to be honest, I've said this before, but I have to say it again. This might be the cheapest looking Hermes piece out there, but in case you're not familiar with the Click Age bracelet, it's basically this bracelet which features an age. It does have a really unique mechanism where you have to push the bracelet together to be able to undo the age. This lifts, you can open it up, put it on your wrist, and then it closes the exact same way, which I do have to say that the mechanism is really smooth. It does feel luxurious to put it on your wrist, but unfortunately it does not look luxurious, especially because it is so poorly made. I mean, this piece, I could count on one hand how many times I have worn it, but it looks like something that I have worn to absolute pieces. These get scratched, these get marked, these get tarnished, which is just not what you would expect for the price. Now, some people do love these because they do add a pop of color to an outfit. You can buy these in different metal finishes. And then the color that you see here, which of course mine is in black because it's my favorite color, you can pick this up in different enamel finishes. They come in pretty much every single shade of the rainbow. And they have recently introduced these with different prints. So now you can also buy these in prints. Some only feature the print on the enamel finish. Some actually have the very same print on the age closure, which I prefer because it makes the age look just a little bit more subtle. But the reason I wanted to bring this up again is because Hermes has been launching some new iterations of this design, so it features the same idea but slightly different designs. So now you can find these with different motifs instead of the age buckle, which I much prefer. So you can either buy this with a Kelly lock detail, which is really unique, or you can pick it up with the Shantung design. If I had to pick one, I would say that the Shantung design is my favorite, but personally I think you can do so much better with this kind of money. These are not pieces that will last a long time because they scratch, they mark, they chip, they tarnish, and I really don't think that they are as expensive looking as they should be when it comes to fashion jewelry. I think if you're going to buy a piece of Hermes fashion jewelry, make sure that you buy one that features a little bit of a leather detail, or one that's made fully out of leather, because that's really what Hermes is known for. They're incredible divine leather pieces, especially if it's going to be your first investment into the world of Hermes. Buying something made of leather, I think, will give you a lot better of an idea of what owning an Hermes piece will look and feel like, over buying something that is really just so, I mean, it doesn't feel flimsy. The mechanism is really smooth, but at the end of the day, it does look cheap, and it is by far one of the most duped Hermes pieces. And I doubt that if you put this side by side with a piece that you bought for, I don't know, $10 from Amazon or wherever you can find these dupes or copies, I really don't think that you would be able to tell the difference. Unlike the previous piece, which I was never in love with. I mean, I clearly liked it at one point to spend the money on it, but it was never my favorite piece. This is something that I could not stop wearing for years. It's something that I still love the look and the idea of, but it is just so annoying to use that I never reach for it anymore, which is going to be my Kelly belt. If you're not familiar with the Kelly belt, as the name suggests, it features the Kelly lock closure, which is actually functional. So the way you open and close the belt is you undo this and then you can twist the closure shut. And what makes this belt even more special is that it features this sliding mechanism in the back, which allows you to make this belt a lot bigger and also a lot smaller. You can actually only buy this in a single size, which I think Hermes calls one size fits most, because you can make it a lot bigger and a lot smaller. I love the idea. I think it's really creative. I love the craftsmanship. I love what this adds to the outfit. So you might be wondering, then why are you talking about it in this video? The reason is that this mechanism has a mind of its own. It is quite unreliable, so it will do a lot of things. Yes, it will make any outfit look like $1,000,000. This will not help to hold on to your pants because this mechanism is so insanely unreliable. Like right now, it sticks in one position and it's hard to adjust, but when you're actually wearing it, moving around with it, the longer you have it on, the looser this mechanism gets, and it's really annoying to have to keep readjusting it throughout the day. Anytime you sit down, you stand up, you move around too much, this mechanism will get looser and looser and looser as you're wearing it throughout the day, and it's not the easiest thing to adjust while this is on your back. It's not something that you can super easily take off, readjust, and put it back on because there isn't any sort of indication of how big you're making it. You actually have to have it on your body to be able to adjust it perfectly. So it is just quite a finicky thing to own and wear. If you're only wearing it as an accessory, you're not expecting it to help to hold on to your pants, you're going to be just fine with it. But do keep in mind when you're buying it that it will not do what a belt is really supposed to, which is to help to hold onto your pants. Speaking of pieces that feature the Kelly closure, we have two more pieces that I have physically here with me that I want to show you, and then we're going to be moving on to some popular MS pieces that I personally never bought and really wouldn't consider it, at least not in the foreseeable future, but obviously never say never. But the next piece, which I haven't been reaching for, even though it's something that I was obsessed with for at least a year and I still love the idea of, is going to be my Kelly pocket card holder, which there is one reason for me not using this piece, and it is the actual Kelly closure, which as you guys can see sticks out quite a bit, which makes it a little bit more difficult for me to navigate this into and out of bags, especially smaller bags. So if you love a larger bag, if this is not a concern of yours, or you don't really struggle with having larger wallets in your collection, this is something that I think you will very much enjoy. But I have to be honest with you, I have been mainly reaching for my really simple Citizen 12 card holder, which just features 4 little slots for your cards. It has some additional pockets in the middle. It's a piece that I don't have with me right now. It's actually in my bag over there. And the reason I didn't pull it out is because I talked about it in my last video on my best and worst Hermes purchases, on some of my least and most used pieces, which is definitely a piece that I had to feature there. So if you want to know about my most used Hermes card holder, you can check out that video of mine. I'll make sure to have it linked up here. But this is not a piece that I have been reaching for, even though I love the design of, just because of how much this Kelly closure sticks out. And the other piece that I wanted to share with you is something that I haven't worn in a year. Well, I guess that's not technically true because I did wear these last week, but I hadn't worn these in a year prior to that. And the only reason I ended up wearing these last week is because I knew I had these sitting in the cupboard and I was like, I cannot have a year go by without me wearing these at least once. So the next piece I wanted to share with you are going to be my VO ankle boots, which are these chunky, really heavy boots that of course feature the Kelly closure on the side, which I love the look of. But the reason I haven't been wearing these is because they're insanely heavy and because the sole on these is so thick and so sturdy that they don't really bend. So whenever I have these shoes on, I feel like I'm walking like a duck because the sole doesn't bend. So it's not the shoes that adjust to my feet, but it's my feet that have to adjust to the shoes. So I cannot bend my feet in these. So I just kind of walk like a little duck, and they're also unbelievably uncomfortable. So as much as I love the look and the idea of these boots, they're really not something that I can wear consistently, especially when I'm going to be out all day. Sticking to shoes, this next pair is not something that I actually own, and I don't think I ever will, but these are quickly becoming some of the most popular Hermes pieces out there. In fact, I had a conversation about these the other week with my advisor, who was telling me that people have been coming in to try to get these, people who had never been to Hermes. So I feel like these are becoming what the orange sandals were a few years ago, what the sheep sandals were in the past couple of years. Now it's going to be these sneakers, which are going to be the bounce sneakers, the gateway to the world of Hermes for many people, which I'm just going to say this: do not buy these sneakers from Hermes. Hermes does some incredible sneakers. This is all coming from a sneaker lover, someone who wears sneakers every single day, but not all sneakers are created equal. Some sneakers will add a lot more to an outfit and to your collection than others will, and I can tell you that this will not add anything to an outfit or to your collection. If anything, instead it will take away, it will drag down and make any outfit look a lot more tired and a lot less well thought out. It will just make anything look and feel a lot more casual and kind of frumpy. I think if you're buying these sneakers to the gym, you can get away with them, but to style these with jeans or anything else, I don't think these are the sneakers for you. These should be strictly worn to the gym. Please do not wear these out. Do not buy into the hype. And again, this is all coming with love from someone who adores sneakers, someone who wears sneakers every single day, and someone who knows for a fact that there are sneakers out there that you can dress up or dress down, sneakers that will never look out of place. But these are not it. These will drag everything down, and there is no way you can make these work unless you are wearing these to the gym. And they're bad to begin with. They look tired, they look orthopedic, and not orthopedic in a cool way, but in a way that you could have bought these genuinely for $10 from Amazon. But the fact that they are also now on every other person who walks into Hermes just makes them even worse. And last but not least, let's talk about two bags that I don't think you should buy in 2023, one of which is a bag that I'm really often asked about, especially by my male viewers, which makes sense. It is a bag that is often pushed by Hermes to their men clientele, which is going to be the HAC bag that started the Hermes bag craze. It's one of the first bags that Hermes ever created, and it's of course the bag that inspired the Birkin and the Kelly bags. So we're going to be discussing why I don't think the HAC is worth the money, which again, it's something that I have talked about before, but it is a bag that I'm constantly asked about. So let me tell you why I personally would not invest my money in an HAC. First of all, I am not the biggest fan of the proportions of the HAC. If you're wondering what the main difference is between the Birkin and the HAC, it is going to be the proportions of the bag. The HAC is a lot more narrow and a lot taller. It features shorter handles, and the hardware is also slightly different. It's a lot more robust and heavy looking, and because of those reasons, an HAC, they also come in larger sizes, even though at one point the HAC was available in a really wide range of different sizes, even as small as, I think the smallest HAC I've ever seen was either 28 or 32. These days, they really only make them in larger sizes, so 40, 50, and 60, which are really large bags, especially vertically, so they're quite tall. And unless you're really tall yourself, I think you will have a hard time styling that bag, because it will more often than not look like you are just dragging your bag on the floor. They are so tall. So that's one of the reasons I wouldn't recommend the HAC, not to mention that a lot of people buy it as a travel bag without realizing that they are incredibly heavy to begin with. So you can only imagine how heavy they become once you've put everything in there. And because they're quite large bags, they fit a lot. So you keep putting things and things and things in there, which I have no doubt you will regret when you get to the airport. Obviously, if you're going on a road trip and you don't have to carry your bag for that long, it's not as big of an issue. But if you are flying and you're not flying private, or you're not being escorted through the airport, if you have to lug around this heavy bag, which doesn't come with a shoulder strap, the only way for you to carry it is handheld, I think it is going to be a bag that you will want to return almost immediately, because it is an insanely heavy bag. So it's not only going to be a challenge to make it work when it comes to styling this particular piece, but it is going to be insanely heavy, especially if you're going to use it as a travel bag. So that's what I always say about the HAC. That's one of the reasons I wouldn't recommend it. And of course, we're going to be getting some new HACs for the upcoming seasons with the different pockets, with different details and iterations. It's still not something that I think you should be tempted by, especially some of the new HACs that we just saw walk the Hermes runway, which not only have the original HAC hardware, but also additional pockets. You know that only means one thing, which is that they're going to be bigger, so you can fit more in there, which will, as a result, make the bags heavier. And they feature more hardware, which again leads to heavier bags. So long story short, unless you are trying to become a bodybuilder, these are not bags that you want to carry around all day. And then speaking of runway bags and special limited edition bags, another bag that I wouldn't buy from Hermes in 2023 are all the new takes on the Kelly bag. So even if we go back in time, we talk about the Kelly Dance, the Kelly Adult backpack, more recently the Kelly Desordre bag, which is actually inspired by some older Hermes bags. These are not really things that I think are worth the money unless you are genuinely an Hermes collector, especially when it comes to the most recent Kelly Desordre bag, which is a fun idea if you love these unique, eye-catching collector's pieces. I think it's something that you will love, but when it comes to buying a bag that you want to use on a daily basis, I think you will regret spending your money on these bags, especially if you are after a Kelly bag, but this is the bag that you get offered and you're thinking, you know, it kind of gets me there. I don't really think that's the case. So when it comes to these new takes on Kellys and Birkins, such classic designs, why ruin something that's already perfect? You do not have to reinvent the wheel, which I know is an unpopular opinion because these are collector's pieces. These are genuinely things that people go crazy for. But personally, when something is already perfect, it doesn't need to be broken and rebuilt. And actually, when it comes to the Kelly Desordre bag, in case you're interested in my thoughts on that bag, not just the general idea of it, it is a really unique bag. It does feature a shorter shoulder strap, so it's not going to have a removable shoulder strap like a real Kelly bag does. And it has these two asymmetric pockets on each side with twist closures on each side. So you have to keep in mind that you can really only carry this bag handheld. You cannot technically put it on your shoulder, because if you do, you will always have a Kelly twist closure sticking against your body, which I do think is going to be pretty painful. I mean, I have worn my Kelly bag. I can't believe I'm doing this on camera. I'm trying this, but I have worn my mini Kelly backwards just because sometimes I don't like to show off the twist closure. I like showing off the beautiful leather that the bags are made of. So I have done that, and it's not always the most comfortable. So it's something that you do have to keep in mind when it comes to something like the Kelly Desordre bag, which might be a creative design, but it's not really well thought out when it comes to functionality. But these were the last pieces that I wanted to put on your no-go list for 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. I tried to try most of these pieces, so you don't have to. If you'd like to see more videos like this from me, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And while you're down there, please let me know in the comment section if there are any pieces in your collection that you feel like you should have returned, or you wouldn't recommend that other people buy it. I cannot wait to hear from you. And as always, thank you so much for watching and being here. I hope to see you back here with a new video really, really soon.